Well, hello, good people. It's nice to see you again. I hope you are happy to see me again, making another Tokyo Ghoul review. But yeah, let's get to this chapter review. This is a review of chapter 10 of Tokyo Ghoul. To be quite honest, immediately, I enjoy this chapter and all, but it's just a straightforward comedic chapter. There's not much to it. There's not much that, there's a little bit that carries from the previous chapter and all that, but not much at all. It's just a bunch of interactions, a bunch of a lot of jokes here and there. We do get an introduction to Psycho in this episode, which is kind of nice because we've been needing to get an introduction to her for a while now. Because this is the member of the Quenkei squad that we still yet haven't seen, and we finally get to see her, which is a good thing. It's really cool. It's nice to know she's like a cool, well, not cool to be precise. Like she's like the otaku of the group and everything. She's a little somewhat shut in, whatever, and just like likes to play video games, read manga, just eat junk food, all like crazy and all that. Uh, it's nice to have a character like that because you don't have those that often, especially in series like these that are very just not fit for those characters. But considering there's a lot of comedy, sometimes it's a good character to have for comedy purposes and all. But I did notice something really interesting about her. She apparently has very good or not ghoul heightened senses. For example, like Hinami, she has supreme smell. Being able to hear and all this other taste and all that. Her five sensors are off the chart in ghoul levels and all that. And I forgot quite precisely, but there's other abilities you can do more or less with the whole thing. But she was able to figure out there were three people coming near her vicinity. Everything just when the position that she was in, and that was really impressive and interesting. Not to mention something else that I want to mention that I did mention before. Also, Shirasu himself has a pretty good ear. For Christ's sake, that guy can pick up shit from a mile away. He's very good, and he knows he's precise as a kid. Because previously, the chapter that Sasaki encountered Serpent and everything, after he defeated him, when it was revealed it was Nishio, and Sasaki was stumbling through his words and everything, and he said Nishio Senpai from a fucking mile away. Shiasu could hear what he said, and I'm like, whoa, he's got a goddamn good ear, which is really cool and all. But yeah, also Chiazo was hearing through the door, and he could tell that she was under the bed sheet, just like little curled up ball, just like that. I don't know, whatever it is she was doing and all that. But that, like I say, that's pretty impressive, pretty cool. But like I said, also we get more of Audier's dickish progression. He is he is a backstabbing son of a bitch. It's gonna take a fuck ton of a while for his progression to commence and all that, because he doesn't look like a good guy anytime soon. He basically is enlisting the help of Psycho because previously he didn't enlist her help because she was a problem. She was something that he didn't find useful or capable of any use whatsoever. His example he gave is like she's a cog that doesn't fit in the right place. She could turn everything distraught in a mess. That's why he didn't have her previously on the team. He just let her do whatever she wanted and didn't contribute much at all. But now he's thinking that he can use her in this manner where she can destroy the team, make it crumble. Now that it's in Shirasu's command and everything. So Urie can go. Sasaki, looks like you messed up. Want to reconsider that thing about making Shirasu the head of the squad? And basically he just wants to backstab Shirazu and get his be the leader of the group once more. His dickishness is never gonna end, or at least it's not gonna end anytime soon. But it does never seem to surprise me. I love how he just has. I also love how he has these interior like monologues, or not monologues, like phrases. Like he says one thing coming out of his mouth, but internally he's thinking some other thing that he just wants to say. I love how Ishida just writes that in, just going to show how mischievous and just how much of a liar that Urie is and all that. But yeah, we had that bit where we finally got to see Psycho and all that. Then we got to meet up with Hambi, which real quick for any of you who read that Joker one shot of Tokyo Ghoul that had a black haired Yuzu and this tall ass son of a bitch with long hair that was a scaredy cat, which is Hambi apparently here. That any of you who saw that who read it, this clearly shows right here that that one shot of Joker, everything, actually carries over to Tokyo Ghoul. So that one shot's actually canon, which is a cool, awesome thing. And I'm loving that about Ishida because that's awesome. That's one awesome, really cool thing to do. Just like because I was really interested and invested in that one shot, and I was like, I like these characters. I'm interested, and we got Yuzu and all, and eventually, but I like the Yuzu there. The look and everything was a lot cooler. I also liked Hambi, and he was actually he was interesting. Like his story and everything. But for any you know what I mean for any of you who've actually read it. But yeah, we have his introduction, uh, and the last thing I think I want to mention because like I said, there's not much to this chapter. It's pretty simple, and it's a self-contained chapter. If anything, there's a little bit of a carryover, like I said, from the previous chapter, which is the whole thing with Toka and Yomo when they finally saw them at the coffee shop that they were at last chapter that they that they enter and everything. Uh, it's hilarious how Yomo just sits down. He just starts looking at Sasaki all over the place and just like sniffing him to see if he actually is Kaneki. Because when we saw Yomo last chapter, when he saw Sasaki, he laid eyes on him. He was like, "What the fuck?" He had that face of like, "Mother of fucks, this is impossible." And this is his way of confirming everything, smelling him and see if he smelled identical to Kaneki and all that, and also because he resembled him like nearly identically. Actually, no, identically aside from the hair and everything. But yeah, that was actually a really cool, nice, funny bit that I enjoyed. I think he probably did notice that was Sasaki because they know, but he doesn't know. So, you know, you know what I mean. But yeah, and I like the last thing we have is where Toka gives them the coffees. They all taste the coffee and they love it. They say it has a supreme taste. It's great and all. And then we just see Sasaki just go drink it and just starts getting tears coming out of his eyes and showing so much emotion and not understanding whatsoever why he's acting in this manner. But we know why he's acting in this manner, but he doesn't because he forgot all his memories. He doesn't remember any of this. And it's so sad, but it's so beautiful at the same time. And I love that about it. God, and I love how he phrases he phrases when he sees Toka give him a smile. He goes, "It's a beautiful smile, but that smile seems like it has some a bit of sadness in it." And I like when he said that. And he also said to himself that this person is so beautiful. I think that possibly I did have somebody like this in my past. No, motherfucker, you had that exact same person in your past. But yeah, it's sad. It's tragic, but it's beautiful. I love that about this chapter. That's really good about it. That's what I really took out from most of the chapter itself. Other than it was all comedy and all that cool stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it. It was a good chapter. I'd say I'd give it a 7 because I typically don't score Tokyo Ghoul all that low. Like it's 7 or more, but because this chapter wasn't so much, like I said, there wasn't much to it. I'm gonna give it a 7. I really enjoyed it. It was fun, great, good. I can't wait to read some more Tokyo Ghoul because this is greatness itself. It's really good. I love this series. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, with that said, see you soon. Hope you do something new.